That was a long one, my gosh. Why don't you choose something more realistic? Listening fully to what people have to say is so important. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and we're back with another wine night. Today I cheated and I have coffee instead because it's noon. Wow, it's already noon, but I'm still drinking my coffee and I thought I would have like a little coffee chat instead. Yeah, I don't know, the whole point of this is just to chat like we're friends and just talk together, I guess. Well, I'm talking and then you guys will comment, but either way. That was a long one, my gosh. But either way, I'm here with my coffee and we'll be back with wine next week, I guess. But I still put wine night just because that's what these are. They're wine nights. I figured today that we would talk a little bit about getting out of your comfort zone, and that's kind of a weird broad topic, but it's something that I find really important, and especially with the new year, I just thought that it was something cool to just chat a little bit about and how we can start to do it or what we might want to do it about. So first of all, let's start with why it's even important to get out of your comfort zone. For me, it means that I can be learning something new, and I think that's really important to always be improving and trying to consistently be a learner and a student in a weird way. I think getting out of your comfort zone is a huge way to grow. Like I just said, learning is a huge part of it, but you're pushing your boundaries a lot of the time, and maybe things that you thought you were scared of or that you couldn't do or that weren't for you turn out to be something great for you. So I personally think that it's a really great way to grow. Plus, if you don't like something, you can just stop. So it doesn't hurt to try. Getting out of your comfort zone doesn't always have to be something huge or monumental. It can just be these small tweaks that you make to your daily life that can potentially help. So if it's scary for you to run in public, you know, maybe that's something that you can try, and then maybe you end up making a friend out of it, or maybe you end up exploring something new that you wouldn't have explored before, and that can be something so small, but it can change a lot for you, and it's like a butterfly effect sort of situation where you're affecting other things in your life. I think getting out of your comfort zone can also be extremely important just because it reminds us that there are people out there that are happy to support us through these changes and that are excited for us. And so it can be something as simple as, again, like applying to new jobs or something like that. And when you tell people, hey, I'm thinking about applying to something new, rather than making fun of you or anything like that, the people that really care about you will support you and maybe even offer guidance that you didn't realize was there. So I think just talking about it is one way to even start getting out of your comfort zone. It also just holds you accountable, where when you're telling people about the changes that you want to make or about the things that you want to do differently, then they'll follow up with you, not in a rude way, but just like, hey, how'd that thing go? How did the new sushi class go? Or whatever it is. It can really help rather than just keeping it all in your head. So what have I been trying to do? First off, it sounds so strange, but one of the things that I've been trying to do is be okay with sharing the videos that I make online with the people that are in my daily life. And it's so strange to me that it's easy to share these things with strangers, but it's a lot harder to share with the people that you face daily. Even when I share it with just like some of my closest people in my life, or when someone will text me and tell me, hey, I really liked your video, it freaks me out a little bit, or I don't know, like not freaks me out, but it's just weird to hear that people in my life are watching my content. And I don't know why it's so weird for me, but it's definitely nerve-wracking. And so I think maybe it's just because I am putting myself out there a little bit more, whereas if I'm at work, I'm doing something that work is asking me to, and this is completely my choice and something that I really love to do. And so if people aren't liking it, it's something that I'm liking, and so it causes problems, right? So either way, generally speaking, people are very excited for me and they don't really have anything bad to say. Sometimes I'll get a couple of little adjustments that I should make or things like that, but aside from that, it's usually pretty positive and people are just excited to see that I'm doing something that I enjoy. So that's step one of what I'm doing to get myself out of my comfort zone. Something else that I'm doing to actively get out of my comfort zone is start with that like top main priority goal. Like, what is the roof of what my goal looks like? And then from there, backtracking into how does that break up daily? How does that look each month? How do I even get there? And that really helps me to figure out these small bits and pieces. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something monumental. And if I'm breaking it up, then each day I'm doing something small and different, and then slowly I can reach those goals. And it really helps keep me on track, especially since I'm trying to always do 50 million things at once. It helps me just keep my schedule. Another thing that I'm doing that kind of relates to having people in your life that are happy to support you is realizing when I should ask for help. So there are times when I'm going to need help, or I might just need to chat about something. I might want to bounce ideas off of somebody, or sometimes I'm just stressed out and I just want to go on a walk and talk about it. And understanding when I need to rely on other people versus just myself is extremely, extremely important for me. I think it's been huge in this whole process of figuring out how to get out of my comfort zone, and really pushes my boundaries a lot. And I realize that it's okay to ask for help, and not everybody does. And it helps only because you can gain new perspectives from other people. You might not have thought about something a certain way, or you might accidentally get yourself into a little bit of a rut. And so by asking for help or talking with people about these things, it really helps to continue to push those boundaries. And that in itself might be something scary that's out of the comfort zone, and it was for me. But slowly I realized that talking with people really, really helps. Okay, so my final section of this whole thing is, how am I accomplishing this myself? One of the things that I used to always tell myself when I was younger was that if I'm weird in front of people, then if they don't like me, then I'm never gonna see them again, so it doesn't matter. And if they do like me, or if I do see them again, then we're probably gonna end up being friends. And so it still doesn't matter, because at that point, you know, you're kind of like a weird person in front of your friends. You can be yourself in front of your friends. And so I used to always tell myself that, and it really helps me out, as strange as it sounds, just because I can use that in my daily life. If I'm doing something like YouTube that I really enjoy and people around me don't really like it, then they can just not watch my videos. And if they do like it, then they watch my videos, and that's great. So it doesn't have to be a scary thing if I think about it that way. And if I just continue to tell myself it's mostly for me and I want to act the way that I want to act, I want to be the person that I am, then I end up being more true to myself, and I end up attracting people that are like-minded, and I end up pushing myself out of these boundaries more and more because I'm achieving more and more goals. Even just these small daily goals turn into these bigger goals. I am also trying to really stick to these goals. I think it can be daunting sometimes when you have bigger goals, and it's especially daunting when maybe you don't have the support for those goals. So if you have the goal to be a pro football player, right? People might look at you and they're like, yeah, I mean, some people do it, but it's really a long shot and so few people in the world get a chance to do that. Why don't you choose something more realistic? And that's something that you might come across often in your life. But if you instead tell people, I'm wanting to practice daily and play catch daily, and then, you know, maybe try out for a team in a year for like a novice team or something, then they're way more supportive about that. And I think that those are good goals to have, just because it's not to say that you can't do that big thing that you want to do, but you have to start somewhere, and you can't expect to in a year get to pro football NFL level. You have to take this at bite-sized pieces. And so that's part of what I'm doing as well. Accomplishing getting out of my comfort zone means starting with bite-sized goals that I can confide in people, tell them about, and leaning toward these goals and getting there. So otherwise, it sounds so, it just sounds so daunting. It's, if I say I want 20 million subscribers and to have YouTube be my sole career, then that sounds a lot crazier than I'd like to make 2 videos a week. And people might not understand what kind of effort that takes or anything like that, but it's a path to the goal, and it does get me out of that comfort zone by continuing to push myself to accomplish these goals. So that's one of the things that I'm doing to help accomplish it. And another thing thing is just accepting the advice that other people have for me, because I think that's one thing that's really difficult for myself and maybe difficult for other people too, is knowing that other people do care and they are there to help, and that I might not know everything, and that's okay. Because I think sometimes when I've done research, I am so quick to say like, yeah, I know, but blah, 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 blah. And the person, although maybe they don't know about it, for example, in YouTube, if I'm talking to somebody about my videos and I'm like, yeah, I just want to get more views and I don't know how to do that and blah, blah, blah. And maybe they know nothing about it. They've never made a YouTube video in their life. But if they say, hey, well, I looked at your thumbnails and you know, you could do different faces in them or something like that. Those little things, even if they don't know how difficult it might be, or if they don't really know much about making videos, can really help, because especially from an outsider's point of view, you can see what others might be seeing as well. So it really helps in that way, and accepting the advice, or at least listening to it thoroughly to understand where that person might be coming from and picking apart the pieces that you might want or need, is so important. It's like taking critiques. We used to do this in school all the time, but basically during critiques, at first when you get critiqued, you think that your professor is telling you, you know, what you're good or bad at, because that's how everything else works in school, is like you take an exam and the professor tells you, yes, you got that answer right, or no, it's wrong. But with critiques, it's so subjective. And so when a professor tells you at first, your first critique, you're like, okay, I have to change all of these things. But slowly you get to realize that you're allowed to take bits and pieces of that critique and decide what advice you want to take. And that goes for everything in your life, really, because you're able to take the advice that people give you, or you can choose that that's just maybe not good for you. I think that's something else that's really important and helps in accomplishing these goals, and to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, because at least listening fully to what people have to say is so, so important. I know a couple of you guys have commented about the different goals that you're looking to do, or maybe ways that you're looking to get out of your comfort zone. I know YouTube has come up and Etsy has come up, and I think that's really, really cool that you guys are also trying to find other ways to do stuff that you really love and enjoy. And I'm really, really excited. So if you guys have anything like that, definitely leave it below. I want to be able to share with other people. We don't have the biggest audience here yet, but slowly, you know, we're building it, and I would really love to, sorry, you can hear pee snorting, but I would really love to share that with other people. So if you guys have anything, leave it below. I hope that this helps a little bit. I think, again, getting out of your comfort zone is all about setting goals and just learning something new consistently. And it's really important for all of us to remember we're not experts always, and that's okay. And that's a huge part of getting out of your comfort zone too. So I hope this helps somebody a little bit and maybe motivates you to get out there and do that thing that you've been wanting to do. Just like I mentioned in my last wine night, you know, do those things that you're looking forward to doing, and make 2021 the year that you do it, or make goals for it at least this year. The sooner you make goals, I think the happier you'll be. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye.